Brent, all right, much respect. You gonna be speaking for Arizona?
Yes, sir, yeah.
All right.
We got a badass team with some cars for you, bro. You're gonna have your hands full.
You know, we left Memphis because, hey, we know that road inside and out, and I feel like we had an edge.
With his famous Fireball Camaro, Ryan Martin has ruled the streets of street criminals. But what do they do when they stop filming? Ryan's garage is not set up in an easy way. It wasn't just high-performance engines and race gear that they found. For a long time, they worked hard and were passionate. Let's find out what Ryan has in his garage. A look into the garage of Ryan Martin. Our group is the fastest in the world. We made this car to handle well on rough ground. You saw this car for the first time during Mega Cash days, and we did well with it. That's why we built it. The original Fireball Camaro Twin Turbo Monster is one of the less subtle things in Ryan's workshop. It's a 2010 Chevy Camaro SS that was built for racing. In the racing world, the car is called Fireball. The first Fireball Camaro has two 102mm precision turbos that feed a Proline Racing 481X engine with 502 cubic centimeters. This made a power plant that changed the rules of what was possible in radial tire racing. Over 4,500 horsepower power this beast of a car. One of the most powerful street race cars in the country. When two turbochargers work together, they create huge amounts of airflow, which is what the engine mix needs to make such high power levels possible. The 572 cubic inch displacement is what makes this power possible. The Proline Racing 481X block makes sure that it will last long enough to handle the stress. The Fireball Camaro has more technical specs than just raw speed. The radial race setup has 34 points, 5 times Goodyear slicks, Penske rear shocks, and the 88mm precision turbochargers we already talked about. With these parts put together, you can make a car that can compete at the top levels of radial tire racing while still being able to be driven on the street, which is what the Street Outlaws format is all about. Ryan Martin's approach to racing has never been the same, and the fact that he was open to trying out different power adders showed how much he wanted to stay on the cutting edge of performance technology. ProCharger said that both Fireball Camaros have decided to use their supercharger systems. This means that the technology is switching from turbocharging to supercharging. This change is more than just replacing power adders. It shows how quickly and logically Martin optimizes his race cars. Turbochargers and superchargers improve speed in different ways. They usually give you faster response times when you press the gas and maybe even more steady power delivery, which can be very important in no-prep racing where track conditions change quickly. Ryan showed off his Fireball Camaro with a screw-supercharged Hemi engine for the first time in 2024. In the middle of his racing career, he moved from regular General Motors engines to Hemi bodies. He has not only worked on a Fireball, but also on a 2018 ZL1 Camaro. It was made by Bill Gilsbach. He built the Fireball too. Having a ZL1 is way cooler than just having one. Why? It has a more up-to-date base than the 2010 Camaro. It also has better technology, a stronger chassis, and factory speed parts that racers can sometimes find useful. He chose to work with Bill to show that he respected expertise and knew how important consistency was in building techniques for making stable, competitive cars. This way of doing things has kept them providing quality, not just quantity, on the racetrack. Martin is involved in engine creation in more ways than just buying whole power plants. Because of his work with Proline Racing, some of the most advanced engine combinations in radial racing have been made. A 572CI 481X engine with Stage 3 heads made by Ryan Martin is for sale on Proline Racing, giving an idea of how advanced and desirable the engine combinations he created for his race program were. Proline Racing's 481X block is the best engine block technology on the market. It was made especially for uses that need a lot of horsepower. These blocks are made with improved metalworking, better cooling channels, and stronger deck surfaces that make them strong enough to handle the strong forces that come from high boost and high horsepower applications. Ryan Martin's shop tours are mostly about late-model engines. These tours show the different approaches needed for competitive racing today and give you an idea of the technical side of building current performance engines. People who know about radial versus the world races would notice that Ryan's Fireball Camaro is in one of the most competitive and highly difficult classes. In tire racing, Radial versus the World is the top event, where some of the strongest cars participate. For this type of racing, vehicles must not only have a lot of horsepower, but also be able to put that power down well with narrow radial tires. That's what Ryan Martin built in his garage with the right tools, money, and time. There are many engineering problems that need to be solved in order to make a radial versus the world car that works well. For example, you need to know a lot about how to tune the balance, make sure the weight is distributed correctly, and use advanced traction control systems. All of that looks like it's done for Ryan Martin. What does Ryan Martin do? Ryan Martin was born in 1973, on September 5th. He was very interested in art, despite what you might think at first. He liked to paint, draw, and take pictures a lot. His mother had a big impact on how he thought and what he believed in. This would change how he dealt with his own in the race business. The B&R Performance was born out of his love for cars and racing. It is a shop in Oklahoma City that fixes cars and makes them run better. The shop was known for its aftermarket speed parts and was a big part of getting cars ready for street racing. He became more skilled and more successful over time. The people who make Street Outlaws saw this and were interested. After he joined the show, he quickly made a good name for himself. In his spare time, Ryan runs the car shop B&R Performance. On its website, the business says it focuses on aftermarket performance items and has had its own performance kits for cars since 2015. Ryan drives the Fireball Camaro and gives the business his own word of mouth. Ryan's shop has upgrade deals that range in price from $8,899 for the least expensive to around $50,000 for the most expensive. On the other hand, there is a custom-build choice that doesn't have a price. The business makes good money and has a history of doing good work. People do this because cars are so important to their lives. It's hard to think about how much some people are willing to pay for unique work. B&R Performance does more than just fix up cars. They also sell things. Hats, shirts, cups, and keychains are some of the things that are available. Die-cast cars can be bought in their online shop. Scale copies of cars made from metal and other materials are called die-cast cars. A method called die casting is used to make them. Molten metal is poured into a mold to make the body and details of the car. Die-cast cars come in many forms, from toys and collectibles to models and more. People gather them because they are accurate, well-made, and rare. Mostly because many of these styles are only available for a short time. For one product on the website, you can pre-order 2 rare die-cast cars right now. Ryan's autograph can be added for free for die-hard friends. Each car is made by hand, and the whole thing costs $130. He has a large net worth thanks to his success in the shop and in the race car business. The amount went up by a few zeros when he was on Street Outlaws. Ryan's car shop, B&R Performance, is privately owned, so it doesn't have to tell the public about its finances. That means we can't be sure of how much money he makes from that business. We do know, though, that his Street Outlaws pay could be pretty good. Everyone else in the cast makes between $20,000 and $30,000 per show. This doesn't include the money that TV stars get every time one of their shows airs. Ryan Martin has become one of the most famous and well-known names in modern street racing, even though it may seem strange. He wasn't just the owner of a sports shop. He rose to become a TV star and a business mogul. The way he went from living in a shed to being famous is the American dream. Ryan Martin, personal life and family. He is known for his love of cars, the information he has gained, and his business sense. Quite some time has passed since he was last seen on the market. He is now in a long-term relationship with Cherish Katie. A look at Ryan Martin's personal life shows how many successful business owners have to balance work goals with family duties. They have a son together called Dax. He is married to Cherish Martin. They lived in Oklahoma City. Ryan and Cherish worked together at B&R Performance and in his street racing business. Martin's business is more than just a way for him to feed his family. It's something they both love. Because of how the Martin family runs their business and races, Ryan has been able to keep close family ties while juggling his busy job in running a business and competitive racing. Details about their personal life are kept pretty secret, but his wife is known to share his love of cars, which has had a big impact on his work. The way he interacts with his kids and still does his best at work shows how much he cares about his family. He thought it was very important to have a good work-life balance, even though his race schedule and business duties were very busy. This is helpful, especially if family is also working in the business. It's clear that Ryan is a great father and husband to his family, which makes him the perfect brand. However, Ryan is very private about what he shares with the world and what he doesn't. Along with his partner, Ryan Martin, Freakin' Ryken, Jackie Knox, and other drivers have used his help to move up the list. B&R Speed is not like other shops that do speed work on cars. It has grown into a full-fledged race business that uses both cutting-edge technology and years of experience. People come from all over the country to the shop because of its great reputation. They want the technical know-how and performance skills that have helped Ryan Martin be so successful in racing. B&R Performance specializes in building cars with a lot of horsepower, installing turbochargers, and fine-tuning them so they can compete in street races. It looks like the shop's customer list could be the honor roll for people who take part in Street Criminals. Ryan has gained the trust and respect of people in the racing world. Ryan's business plan for B&R Performance shows that he knows that being successful in modern racing takes more than just technical know-how. The shop has high-tech diagnostic tools, professional-grade dynamometers, and up-to-date tuning software that lets the performance of every car be optimized. This structure of technology makes B&R Performance stand out from other speed shops and puts it at the top of the performance car business. The main Fireball Camaro website has special content, merchandise, and the most recent news from Ryan Martin and the rest of the Fireball Camaro team. No Prep Kings, Street Outlaws, and No Prep races across the U.S. are shown on Discovery. They race against the best cars in the world. Ryan Martin's racing history is linked to the Fireball Camaro, which is one of the most famous and successful cars in modern street racing. It will always be remembered as a turning point in the history of street racing when the Fireball Camaro was made, because Ryan Martin carefully placed the car and used cutting-edge technology. The Fireball Camaro has been successful in more ways than just winning races. The car has turned into a brand, which has led to product sales, sponsorship deals, and media appearances that have helped Martin's business grow. The car has become one of the most photographed and talked about cars in the Street Outlaws world because of how it looks and how well it always runs. There was a time when Ryan was ready to drive his Camaro on the streets. Ryan quickly showed that he was a scary and tough rival in the Street Outlaws racing scene. Everyone thought that was the end of it, since he had spent most of his time in the shop. His move from running a shop and tuning cars to competing changed the game. He knew everything there was to know about cars and how to drive them. Ryan Martin became a powerful person because of this. Throughout his racing career, He has consistently done well in a wide range of formats and settings. His wins in No Prep Kings events have made him one of the best players in the sport. Because of his work on the original Street Outlaws series, he is a well-known TV figure and fan favorite. Ryan has different technical skills than his rivals, which helps him win races. Most of them depend on being good at driving or having expensive gear. Ryan is ahead of other people because he knows the car better than most. Ryan Martin has a lot more business interests than just B&R performance and racing. Martin Motorsports ships orders to the U.S. for free if they are over $100, and they add new things all the time. Ryan doesn't give up just because he's done well. Quality and hard work will always be there. The performance team keeps pushing the LT1 platform to its limits and breaking its rules to set a new bar for performance in Chevy, GM, and Cadillac cars. Ryan's choice to focus on the General Motors LT1 engine platform is a smart business move that lets him use his knowledge in a market that needs it. Ryan and all the people who want to do business with him will benefit. Martin has good business sense because he turned Fireball Performance into a separate brand under his business umbrella. Why? People all over the world learned about Ryan and his shop because of the Fireball Camaro, which changed the rules of radial racing. By making it its own brand, Ryan can keep using that attention for as long as he wants. Ryan has better met the wants of specific customers and built multiple income streams by giving different parts of his business their own brands. Ryan Martin has over 2,000 posts on Instagram and 338 friends. It also has 1,324 account followers. This shows how active he is on social media and how much of an impact he has in the automotive world. People can use this digital site to market their business and talk to fans and customers directly. Ryan knows that digital marketing and social media are important parts of building a business today. Not only does he post promotional material on social media, but he also shares personal moments, technical information, and information about his racing. Every one of these things helps him stay in touch with his friends. They do not take their cars to just any stranger when they need work done on them. They can't wait for Ryan Martin to finish their work. Ryan Martin has a few partnerships and sponsorships in the business world. He has also been highlighted as an HP Tuners-sponsored athlete. This business has been making tuning solutions better since it was founded 3 years ago. This relationship is a smart move because it gives Ryan money and technical tools that he can use in his shop. Working with an industry leader like HP Tuners backs up the claim that Ryan is a star in his field. These partnerships are more than just sponsorship deals. Martin and his partners also gain from working together on product development, getting technical help, and marketing. These companies want to work with him because he is known for being technically skilled and always doing a good job. They're not wrong to invest in him because he has a lot of fans in the criminal world and in the media. As of 2023, Ryan Martin was thought to have a net worth of about $2 million. It might be a bigger amount now. Ryan Martin has had a big effect on street racing culture, in many ways, not just on the track. Many other drivers have been successful thanks to his work on B&R performance. Many people have become interested in the business side of this sport because of him, and he has helped make street racing a viable job path for some. This sets the stage for the next generation to make smarter choices about racing and its business. Martin wasn't able to do much outside of racing, spending time with his family and running his business. He had about 30 race events planned for 2018, was busy filming the TV show Street Outlaws, and had responsibilities as co-owner of B&R Performance. The schedule proved the claims. He was one of the most sought-after people in street racing, and he hasn't lived up to the hype in a while. Ryan Martin shows how American street racing has changed from an illegal pastime to a legal sport and business opportunity. He might not know it, but he has shown how to combine passion, scientific knowledge, and business sense. This man's success can teach young people who want to be successful in the auto business. The Street Outlaws. Street Outlaws has become one of the most interesting and controversial reality shows on American TV. It gives people a look into the world of illegal street racing. The show has grown from just showing Oklahoma City's racing scene to a whole series since its start on the Discovery Channel. People in the U.S. used to think that street racing was rude and careless, but Street Outlaws changed all of that. The first episode of Street Outlaws aired on the Discovery Channel on June 10, 2013. This was the start of one of the most popular car franchises on the network. Pilgrim Media Group, which used to be called Pilgrim Studios, made the show. The group saw that writing about Oklahoma City's street racing culture could be useful and decided to learn more about it. The people who made the show found out that Oklahoma City had one of the biggest secret street racing rings in the United States. Reality TV in this area was not only gold, but it was also mostly undiscovered. It looked like no one cared enough to write anything down about it. There have been a total of 15 seasons of the show. It became very famous very quickly and changed the culture of people who learned about cars as kids. What started out as a simple record of local racing has grown into an exploration of American car culture, including not only the races, but also the rivalries, personal stories, and new technologies that make the sport interesting. The list is what makes street criminals what they are. What does this list mean? The top 10 fastest street racers in Oklahoma City are ranked by this method. This order is the main way that the show is put together. Racers are always competing with each other to move up in the rankings, which adds to the excitement and competition. The list is based on a simple idea that works well. To move up, you have to beat someone who is better ranked than you, and beat them in a race against each other. Big Chief, whose real name is Justin Shearer, keeps the list and is the main character of the show. His job is more than just racing. He organizes, mediates, and acts as the unofficial head of the Oklahoma City racing community. The list makes it so that reputation and ranking are based on achievement instead of politics. Personal connections and rivalries, on the other hand, change how things work in the area.